So guys, I won't tell you more about why do we need data security or why we need these data protection levels and all. I'll go directly into my topic today that we are going to discuss about the sensitivity levels in Power BI. So basically, Microsoft provides the data protection in different ways. So it can be classified and labeled into sensitive Power BI data. Then we have the enforced governance policies, even when Power BI content is exported, like whenever we are exporting the data from Power BI service into Excel file, PDF, or even the PPT. Then also we have monitor and protect user activity on sensitive data in real time. That's the Cloud App Security by Microsoft. And then lastly, we have empower security administrators so that they have certain policies they can apply whenever somebody is working on Power BI, and then they can protect the data. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the sensitivity labels in Power BI, how we can create them, how they are going to help you to implement into your organization, or if you are working as a freelance developer as well. And also we'll see what are the limitations and what are the requirements for these. So as you know, my name is Ajay Kumar. I have more than 10 years of work experience in this BI field. I have worked in MSBI, then working in Power BI from the beginning, and who all are already here in the previous session, so they know more or less about me. And if you don't know, you can also connect with me on my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn, Facebook, where you want to. And if you have any queries or concern, you can connect with me directly or through Greg. So the way you feel good, it would be awesome. Now, let's talk about the sensitivity level. So basically, what happens, Microsoft wants to secure your data whenever somebody is trying to export it in form of Excel, PDF, PPT. So in that case, we should have some kind of authorization that we can protect our data, that no unauthorized user can use it. So you should be, go with that, like there should be a credentials or the username password kind of method in between them, that without that the access rights, you cannot access that data. So in that case, we are going to need those sensitivity labels. Microsoft Protection sensitivity labels provides you a simple way for your users to classify critical content in Power BI without compromising the productivity or the ability to collaborate. So in this way, we can use those sensitivity labels. And in a way, in a while, I'm gonna also show you how you can actually do it. But before going into this, we should know the requirements for these sensitivity labels. So basically, first you need a license to apply these data protection metrics or the sensitivity labels. And for that, you need the Information Protection Premium P1 or P2 license. So you can buy that. I'll also show you how you can buy that license if you have already an 365 account. So you can buy directly from there. And it's not going to cost you much. It's just $2 per month, and P2 is just $5 per month. So you can buy that. Then secondly, users should have a Power BI Pro license, because without that, it's not going to work at all. So these are the two requirements that we should be focused on. Now comes how to apply the sensitivity labels. So sensitivity labels, basically earlier it was available only in Power BI services, but right now you can also apply the sensitivity label in Power BI desktop, which is currently in a preview feature. So if I'll go on my desktop over here, let me just show you. So this is my desktop, and here you can see this sensitivity. It's in preview. And over here, I have created these three different labels, so I can apply directly from the Power BI desktop whenever I'm starting creating a new report. So either you can do it over here, or you can come over here into your Power BI service account, and you can go to your reports or dashboards or data set or data flows, and then you can do that. For example, let me just go over here. This is my right now my data sets over here, and you can see under the sensitivity, there's already two I have applied. But if you want to apply more, so you have to come over here under these three dots and go to the settings. And under settings, you have this sensitivity label, and here you can apply the sensitivity label. For example, I say, okay, it's highly confidential. I can just click apply, and that's how you can apply. But what if you have to apply the same on a report? So how you can do that? The process is same. You have to come over here. You have to again click on these three dots, go to settings, and if you will scroll down, then you will see there is the sensitivity labels. So let me go down a bit more. And here we have again the sensitivity labels, so we can apply. Similarly, you can also apply sensitivity labels for dashboards as well as on your data flows. So that's how we can apply the sensitivity labels.
So Ajay, two things I think you're showing. So the first one was where you can apply the
Yeah.
sensitivity label across the data set. And then this
Yeah.
is where you're showing you can apply sensitivity labels within the data set to different,
Yeah.
columns or data pieces.
This is the one report. So basically what happens, Microsoft provided different levels of, kind of a different parts. So there are basically four parts. If I'll go over here in my next presentation, so where you can actually apply these sensitivity labels. You can separately apply individually on the reports, dashboards, data set, and data flows. So both are completely in one way or another different. Why I'm saying so? So when it's on data set, that means when you will export that data set, then it's going to ask you for your credentials. But report means whenever you are trying to export that report into PDF or PPTs form, then they are going to work over there. And similarly for the dashboards or the data flows. Is that all right? Hello? Great.
Yes. Yeah. No, that was
Okay,
exactly the
okay,
question.
okay, great.
You're good.
Okay. So sensitivity labels applied on Power BI reports, dashboards, and data flows are visible in many places in Power BI services. So I will show you now how you can actually see your protection metrics as well. Uh, so this is the protection metrics in your Power BI service that you can get it, where you will actually see that on how many dashboards, reports, data set, and data flows you have applied, you will get your kind of perfect dashboards, which you can see for 7 days, last 30 days, and 90 days. And you will get the complete information about this one. So let me show you this one as well, like how you can get it. You will come over there under the settings on your Power BI service. You need to log in over there. Then you will go to the admin portal. And under the admin portal, you will see there is a protection matrix. So here, under this one, you will get your the whole. Let me update this. So here you will get this your protection matrix dashboard where you can see every information regarding your sensitivity labels, like how many reports, dashboards, etc. you have applied these sensitivity labels. So I hope whenever you are working on this as an admin, this is going to be very helpful, but not, for the just like the developers who are just developing the reports or applying the sensitivity labels. But this is a part of the admin when they are going to have a look, okay, for how many reports or dashboards or data set or data flows we are using these sensitivity labels and what are the trends and what are the different kinds of sensitivity labels we have already in place. Okay, let's move further. This is one of the very important, like where you should go and check this one, the protection matrix. Now, there are certain important points you should remember when you are considering to apply this data sensitivity. In order for the data protection matrix report to be successfully generated, information protection must be enabled on your tenant and sensitivity labels. So I'll show you how you can actually enable them. By default, they won't be enabled into your Power BI services, but you have to enable them. In order to access the cloud app security, your organization must have the appropriate license for the cloud app security as well. And lastly, if you decide to share the information from the data protection matrix report with a user who is not a Power BI administrator, be aware that these reports contains the sensitive information about your organization. So please keep in mind before sharing with anyone who's not from your organization or who doesn't have the Power BI license. The data protection metric reports is a special kind of report that I just show you, the dashboard, and does not show up in shared with me or recent or in the favorite. So you only, like I mentioned previously, only the admin would be able to get that protection metrics report and they can use it for the different purposes. The data protection metric report is not available to external users like Azure Active Directory B2B guest users, so it won't be available for them. It would be only available for the organizations one. Now, when I talk about this, how to apply these sensitivity labels. So before that, we need to enable them. And in order to enable them, we have to go to the tenant settings. And under information protection, you can see over here, this is the information protection. I'm under the admin part on admin portal on Power BI services. And under tenant settings, we have this information protection. So here, you will see there's some information over here, and here you need to enable them. But enabling them is not enough. You cannot just apply the sensitivity label if you haven't created them. So before enabling that, you should also create this. So you can see that this is M365 Compliance Center, where you can create your sensitivity labels. So here I'm going to show you how you can actually create the sensitivity labels for your organization and what are the different steps involved in that. So how you can publish them or how you can apply the different policies. So let's first go into this one and let's create a new sensitivity label. So you can see that right now it's just loading. So it would take a couple of seconds. So you can wait for that. So now you will see that I have these different sensitivity labels. So any users, no protection, highly confidential, confidential. So all of these are gonna ask for the credential for the authorization. It's just sensitivity labels is a plain text. So it's just gonna tell you, okay, whether you can share this information with someone or you cannot. So if I'll go in one of my earlier created ones, so you will see over here, it's saying that its name is highly confidential. Display name is the same. Now, whenever some user is trying to export the data, then what kind of description it should show them. So here you can see easily that I'm saying, okay, confidential data, please do not share with any unauthorized user. And secondly, you will get the scope where you want to apply file, email, or Power View assets, Power View assets, I'm sorry. And then the encryption you need or not, or content making, like where you want to apply on header, footer, whenever somebody is exporting that data, etc. So then you have to also publish it. And then if you want to delete it, you can delete it from here. So let's create one new one, and then we'll see how it actually works. So this is a way where you can manage them. So let me create a new sensitivity label, and I'm gonna say it demo. Let's say PUG. Here you can describe like what should be the description for the user. Oh, this is highly confidential. Please do not share. And I can just repeat the same over here. Or if you want to put some different text for the admin, then we can do that same. Now go to next. Okay. So I'm sorry, guys. I think I have already with this name. Okay, so here it's going to ask you the scope of this sensitivity label. So you can say files and emails, and this one I need to enable. I haven't configured this one. So if you would like to do that, you have to configure in your M365 or Office 365, and then you can use this option groups and sites, which is basically for your SharePoint or Microsoft 365 groups, etc. So there also you can apply this. And lastly, there is the Azure Purview asset, which is in preview. So if you want to use that, you can go ahead. Here you have to choose the protection settings for files and emails. For example, the very first is saying encrypt files and emails. So control who can access files and emails that have applied the sensitivity label. So definitely we want that. And second is mark the content of the files. Like if you want to apply like bookmark kind of thing, so you can not bookmark, I'm sorry, it's a watermark. I think I've worked a lot on Power BI bookmarks. So this one is the marking of the content of the file. So if you want to apply for the headers, footers, etc., you can do that. Here you have to provide the information for your headers and footer, and you can go ahead. So now you have to provide some of the information over here. One is the encryption. So control who can access files and emails messages that have this label. So the first option is over here, remove encryption if the file is encrypted. And second is configure encryption settings. So if I'll go over here, so it's gonna ask you assign permission now or to let users decide. So you can say, okay, assign permissions now. And then you have the user access to content expire, I'll say on a number of days after this applied. So you can choose the options which is more suitable for your organization or for your own needs and enter up to the 100 days. So I'll say 90 days and allow offline access, always, never, or only for a number of days. So I'll say number of days and again I can say 90 days.
A quick question, Ajay, that came up.
Yeah.
So Joel asking, does the encryption encrypt the PBIX and .xlsx files underlying, or is it just the data movement in the front end?
Okay, so it's for the data movement only. Basically, it won't encrypt your PBX file, but as I mentioned earlier, it's persistent. That means whenever if I'm creating a sensitivity level for one of the report over here, and when I download that same PBX file from the Power BI service, it would be within it. So it would come with that same one, and if you would publish it again, then it would contain the same sensitivity level over there. So basically, these are related to more or like the data export, not like to encrypt the Power BI file. So because Power BI file is basically gonna make sense for the Power BI developer, not for the external user from whom I'm trying to save my data. So we don't share the Power BI file basically. But maybe in future it can encrypt the Power BI file as well. Latest I showed you like it's in preview feature, like we are applying the sensitivity labels on from inside this one. So maybe in future they can encrypt it, but as of now, according to like the best knowledge, we cannot encrypt the Power BI file. We can just encrypt the data when we are trying to export it.
Yep. You got to use something like a OneDrive or GitHub,
Right.
And that's how you would work that. I mean, that's been one big suggestion to the Power BI Cat team is source control, and encrypted source control. So
yeah, true. Okay. So let's move forward. So second is the content marking. So again, it's saying validation fail. You must assign permission to at least one of the user group. Okay. So let the user, then I have created my user. So I have to apply over here, encrypt only. And here, let's see. Okay, now is the content marking. You can add a watermark or something if you would like to, header, footer. So I'll say header and I can say over here, don't share with external users. And you can just manage the settings the way you feel is good. And I won't add a footer. So let's go auto labeling. Yes, you can say. And if you want to choose automatically apply this sensitivity label. So basically, these are a couple of the settings that you need to check for yourself, which you want to apply or which you don't. So it's up to you or up to your organization's requirement.
I'm surprised how detailed and robust this is, by the way. This is my first time seeing like the application of this, Ajay.
Right.
I'm impressed.
Actually, it is. It is. Now you will see that. So once I finish this, it's going to create this label. So you have to actually gather all the requirements, what you really want to do with this. So now you will see that I have created, but now the second step is to publish this, where we have to apply certain policies. So it's going to, while you are going to publish it, it's going to create some policy. So let's see how does that actually work. So I'm going to publish this, and here you can see on the top, it's creating a policy for this one. And the very first is choose sensitivity label to publish. So I have to choose my sensitivity label, which I want to publish now, and which I created this PUBG. So add it. And now we have to go next. So next it's asking, okay, publish the user or group. So you can choose the user group if you would like to. So I have created some of my accounts, dummy accounts. So let me just select all right now. And next. So here is saying apply this sensitivity level label by default to document and image. So you can say this one, and where you want to apply, you can just select this one. So I'm not going to go with the link. Like, for example, somebody is logging over there. So we can also provide a link. Okay, if you need some kind of more information or help or support, so you can contact over there. And here you can provide that link. Now let's go forward. So name your policy. I'll say, and here you can say XYZ. I'm not going to write a lot of text over here right now. So this is all the information that you're going to need. And after that, I submit, and it's going to review, finish, and it's been created. So let's mark it done. And here you can see I have this sensitivity level by the name of PUJ. Okay, we are over here. So before applying this sensitivity level somewhere else, I would also like to show you something else, guys. So here you can see this is my admin portal, and I would like to check my account where I can buy this license requirement. So if I'll go view my account, it's going to open Office 365 account for myself or for your organization. Depends on the subscription they have. And it's not going to show me over here billing. So actually what I'm trying to do, I'm going to go in the billing part. So let me go up. There's one more link here in the admin portal. Probably I can get it over here. Yes, I think this is going to open the right link where I can see my billings. Yes. So here you can see this is my Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and here my billings are over here. So if I would like to buy any other license or something, I can come over here, and here you can mention your requirement like Azure protection, like I have this one already. So if you want to buy this premium P1, P2 protection level, you can buy from here, and you can see I have this much of available licenses, everything. So all the informations are going to appear over here. And if you would like to buy something, so please come to your Office 365 Admin Center, and you can buy those licenses, whether it's a Power BI Pro license, Power BI Premium per user, and this information protection. But you need those Azure information protection, either P1 or P2, before applying these and Power BI Pro license.
And I will say it again, these are different than Power BI Premium P1 and P2 codes, which are like crazy expensive, 65K plus. I think you're mentioning what, this is like $2 a user or something?
Yes, it's $2 for the premium P1, and P2 is $5. So I'm just sharing the link in the chat box. So let me go to the chat box over here. And this is the link, guys. So you can check it if you would like to, and this is going to help you out.
Awesome.
Okay. So now for the task is to apply this sensitivity level and see how this actually works. So here, let me see this one, demo 2 dynamic page navigation. And here we are going to apply this sensitivity level on this report. So rather than report, let's apply on the data side. That would be much more elaborative. So let's go over here, go to my settings, sensitivity level, and come. Oh, it would take actually some time to appear over here. So let me refresh it. So generally it takes like 15 minutes. Sometimes it appears within 5 minutes. So I'm not sure why it's taking so long. Okay, so meanwhile, I can apply some other one. That's the only solution. I cannot wait for 15 minutes for you guys to show it. So let me apply this highly confidential one on this one. We'll come back over here again. Maybe till that time, it's going to refresh on this Power BI services. Otherwise, I have to log out and log in again.
And quick question for you, Jay. Solar brought this up earlier, and I just wanted to find a good time to ask it. Is there a way to apply the sensitivity levels like along with like row level security? Like it's only sensitive for, you know, these certain roles in my data set, or is this more just global and has to go via the data?
Okay, so I was expecting this question at last. So I was thinking that I'm going to answer you at last. So yeah. So I think you should wait a while before I'll answer this one. Though you can apply the security RLS also, and that's the thing. But there's some, caveats before applying this. So I'm gonna tell you at the last of this slide. So let's first see how does it actually look over here. So you can definitely you can apply because in my organization where I work, so there also we have RLS plus these sensitivity labels, and we work on both of them simultaneously. So let's analyze this one in Excel. And you can see that I have this highly confidential sensitivity label on this one. Now I'm trying to open this in Excel. So earlier we need to download some ODBC, driver to analyze in Excel files whenever we are trying to export it, but we won't be able to do that. And right now, I think it's been 2-3 months already that Microsoft Power BI introduced that you don't need to install that driver anymore.
Yeah,
So
and
here
I
it's
think when you enable the MIP and the sensitivity labels, it automatically turns off the ability to export to Excel, right?
yes.
So you can only connect live with Excel to data sets or do this analyze in Excel feature. It turns off the ability to export.
Right. So there's a couple of things. So as I mentioned you earlier, there are always some caveats. First of all, you cannot export whenever you are trying to export the data in CSV files, then you cannot apply the sensitivity labels. So please always keep this in mind. So generally what I do, I'll come over here on my Power BI services. Under the tenant settings, I switch off my export to CSV. Because Excel and CSV more or like same, it's just in CSV you can export a lot of data as compared to Excel. But still, I'll recommend you go to your tenant settings and under the export settings, here you can see this. So under the export settings, you have to switch off this export to CSV if you really want to do that. So export to CSV, that means you cannot apply any sensitivity level on this one. So this is, I'm sure Microsoft is working on it, but right now it's not available. Okay, so here you can see that I have this highly confidential level, confidential data. Please do not share with any unauthorized user, which I said earlier. And here we have to enable the editing. So let's first see if I enable, then you can still see there's no model, nothing is appearing over here. And in order to enable this content, I need to authorize myself. So let's see, it's gonna take a couple of seconds. So now, basically, I entered my password already. It's somehow taken by, by cache, but it's gonna ask your email ID and password. So let me just open another one. Why it's doing so? Yesterday only I tested it before, coming over here. So let me just check this, which I downloaded yesterday. Okay, let me download once more. That's the only thing which I can do right now. So this one, analyze in Excel. And let me close my old Excel files before doing anything.
Good old task manager.
Yeah, maybe it's only. Sometimes it takes, your password credentials, like you were saying, it's not caching
Yeah,
out.
it's caching them.
So
Yeah.
that's the only thing which can happen. Otherwise, I already tested it so many times. I'm working on it, so I know it should not be nothing like that. It reminds me those days when we are encountering any error and when we want to show to someone, then it's not it's working correctly.
Of course. It happens every time.
Yeah. So here we have to enable this content.
And I see the highly confidential view permission banner.
So let's wait. It generally gives me pop-up over here for this. I think some of the cache problem is there. Otherwise, it's gonna see over here, all the information is there. And export is no, because you need to enter your credentials over here before working on this one. So somehow it's taking by cache, but this is the exact way that it should work. So let me see whether our newly created sensitivity labels is available or not right now. Let me log out and log in. Perhaps that's gonna work now. Okay.
All right, fingers crossed it
Yeah.
made it. No, I think you proved your point either way. You know, the ease, well, not the ease, but just all the robust capabilities of going through and making the label, all the options you can do, and
So actually,
thankfully
it
you're
generally
using
asks me
MFA.
like this, the way I'm entering my, credentials over here, the same way the multi-factor authentication. So that's what it always asks me. Or maybe perhaps it afraid of you that it's not going to say, oh, Greg is there. I'm not going to work today. Okay. So let's try to apply on this one. And if I'll go on security settings, here I have my settings, my sensitivity level. It's still taking time. It's not coming that one. So let's apply this one. Okay, it's been applied. See, go back to my demo. And here we have applied over here. Now try to export. But before that, I need to kill it. Okay. Fingers crossed, guys. I hope this time it's gonna ask me the credentials.
I think Excel is logged in as your. It was saying you're logged in as your Gmail or
Yes,
something.
I think it's because of this, because with my Gmail account is actually my other accounts has been created already.
Yeah.
So this can be the problem for this one. And though I have already make a video on my YouTube channel where you can clearly see that it's asking for my permissions and everything. So that's how actually we implement this one. And I'm really sorry, guys, it's not somehow not working getting my cache. But whenever you would apply over there, please try to apply at your own end. And if you get any concern or if it's not working, then you can come to me and definitely I'll be able to help you. So after this, we just saw that how we can create it and how we can apply and then how we can use it. So now there are the few more important considerations that we should always, look for before working on this one. Sensitivity level does not affect the access to content within the Power BI like you mentioned earlier. Access to the content within the Power BI is managed solely by the Power BI permissions. So, whenever we are working on the Power BI services and then we provide the separate permissions under the settings to the particular viewer, contributor, or the admin guys or the members. So that's going to manage by under the permission. So it's not going to affect whenever somebody is going to go to the Power BI service, looking at the content and then exploring them, whether you can view the report, you cannot. So that's a separate thing. But it's majorly concerned with the exporting the data. Then only it comes into the picture. While the labels are visible, any associated encryption settings like configured either in Microsoft of Security Center or Microsoft 365 Compliance Center are not applied. They are applied only to the data that is exported in Excel or PowerPoint or PDF files, as I mentioned earlier. So this simply means that it's not going to apply for the CSV files. Users who are granted access to the report are granted access to the entire underlying data set, unless row level security limits their access. So report authors can classify and label reports using sensitivity labels. If the sensitivity label has protection settings, Power BI applies these protection settings when the report data is exported into your, again, Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF files. Only then authorized users can open those encrypted files. So I have already mentioned how do they actually work in Power BI, how you can apply, but there are the three things you should always consider, that they are highly customizable, clear text, and persistent. Customizable means you can create the categories for the different levels of sensitivity content in your organization, such as you can say that this is personal, public, highly confidential, confidential, like that. Clear text means you have to just mention a text which is going to give a kind of any business user can understand this clear line or the string that what it's actually saying. And persistent means whenever you are applying once on a data set, then it's gonna always be over there, whether you are gonna download that data set and then again gonna publish it. So it's gonna always be there. It's gonna stick with that. It's like a glue. Once you apply that, it's gonna stick with that, no matter whether you're downloading or again publishing. So for example, I have applied a data sensitivity level to one of my data set, and now I download that report. Under that report, still it's the data set is there and the sensitivity level is on data set. So if I'm gonna again publish this on my Power BI service and somebody else is gonna trying to consume the report after making any changes, so that would be always there. So demo part we have already covered, so I don't think so we need to do that. But there are some points that you should always note. When a new report and dashboard are created in the Power BI service, they automatically inherit the sensitivity level previously applied to this, which I just explained to you. Secondly, you can embed it Power BI reports, dashboards, and visuals in business applications such as Microsoft Teams and SharePoint, and that I mentioned while I was creating that sensitivity level, whether you want to apply those kinds of settings over there or not. And sensitivity levels are only supported for the tenants in global or the public clouds. They are not supported for the tenants in the clouds such as the national clouds and all. So right now it's only for the public clouds available, not for particular national clouds. And sensitivity labels can be viewed on reports and dashboards in the Power BI mobile app. So recently, I think it's just 2 months ago, then recently with that update, Power BI mobile apps, you can see the sensitivity level over there too. And icon near the your report, it's going to appear with the eye symbol something in a circle, so you can use that one. So guys, this was it from my end. If you have any more questions, please do ask me. If you need my help, you know how to reach out to me. And once again, I apologize because somehow this doesn't work in the demo, which I already tested yesterday. So please accept my apologies for that.
It's the demo gods. But Ajay, thank you again for presenting to our user group. If everybody can either come off mute or give them a great reaction, let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else want to come off mute and applause with me? We need sound.
Great job.
There we are. There we
Thank you
go.
so much, guys.
Love it.